The cold steel of the observation deck pressed against Nara Kim's palm. Stars flickered like distant memories, each pinpoint of light a reminder of what she had lost. Her gray skin, mottled with faint metallic patterns, reflected the soft blue, emergency lighting of the research vessel. 20 years of military service had carved her into a weapon more precise than any laser cannon. The Krell military didn't train soldiers. They crafted living instruments of strategic perfection. Nara had been their finest instrument, until everything changed. She remembered the day the human fleet attacked the outer colony of Variax Prime. Plasma storms raged around massive battleships, and her entire squadron disappeared in moments. Her partner, a bondmate she had trained with since childhood, vanished in a brilliant explosion that still haunted her dreams. The diplomatic assignment felt like punishment. After years of combat, they were sending her to negotiate with the very species that had destroyed her world. Humans, species of unexpected complexity and infuriating emotional unpredictability. Her communication device chirped. Standard protocol transmission from fleet headquarters. Routine reports, mission parameters, diplomatic credentials, all standard procedure. But something felt different this time. The message carried an unusual encrypted signature, something she hadn't seen in years. Nara's fingers, typically reserved and mechanical, trembled slightly as she decoded the transmission. Standard military encryption gave way to a message that would change everything. Preliminary reports suggested a potential peace negotiation. Not just another diplomatic dance, but a genuine attempt to understand the decades of conflict. Her superiors wanted someone who understood both warfare and the intricate dance of interstellar politics. They wanted her. Her quarters remained sparse, a reflection of her internal landscape. No personal items, no mementos, just functional equipment and precisely organized military gear. Each item had a purpose, just like every movement in her life had been calculated. The research vessel hummed with quiet technological precision. Alien technology merged seamlessly with human-designed systems, a testament to the complex technological exchange happening beneath diplomatic conversations. Nara represented more than just her military background. She was a bridge between two civilizations that had known only conflict. Her training had prepared her for combat, negotiation, survival. But nothing could have prepared her for the emotional complexity waiting ahead. The humans weren't just another species to be analyzed and understood. They were unpredictable, emotional, filled with contradictions that defied standard operational logic. As the vessel moved silently through the star-filled darkness, Nara's mind wandered to her last combat mission. The chaos, the loss, the brilliant, explosions that had taken everything from her. Her partner's final transmission still echoed in her memory, a moment of pure connection before absolute destruction. The diplomatic mission felt like a strange form of redemption. Not revenge, not surrender, but something in between. A chance to understand the species that had transformed her entire existence. Her reflection in the observation deck's window showed a warrior transformed. Sharp features, eyes that had seen too much, a posture that spoke of countless battles. But something had changed. A subtle softness replaced the pure militant rigidity. Outside, distant planets moved like slow-dancing shadows. Entire civilizations existed in that darkness, each with their own stories, their own conflicts, their own hopes. Nara was about to become part of a story much larger than her personal history. The communication device chirped again. Another transmission. This time, a personal invitation from the human diplomatic team. They wanted to meet her, not as a military asset, but as a potential partner in building peace. Her hand touched the communication device. One simple decision could change everything. Nara Kim took a deep breath. The journey was just beginning. The Gorka diplomatic space station orbited a neutral planet, its sleek design a testament to interstellar cooperation. J. Park adjusted his communication earpiece, watching the various alien delegates move through the pristine corridors. He wasn't a typical diplomat, more of a bridge builder, someone who understood that words could be more powerful than weapons. When Nara Kim entered the main conference hall, the room seemed to pause. Her presence was different. Not just another alien delegate, but something more complex. Military precision mixed with a barely concealed vulnerability that most would miss. Jay noticed immediately. Their first interaction was nothing dramatic, a simple data transfer, a brief moment of eye contact. But in that moment, something unexpected happened. Nara's eyes, typically cold and calculated, showed a flicker of something deeper. Curiosity, pain, possibility. The conference was supposed to discuss resource sharing between the Krell military and human exploration teams, standard diplomatic procedure. But nothing about this meeting felt standard. Jay had read her file. Decorated military officer, survivor of multiple conflicts, recommended for diplomatic mission despite her previous aggressive record. Most would see a warrior. He saw something else, a person waiting to be understood. During a break, he approached her, not with formal military greeting, but with a simple gesture of offering water. Such a human thing, to offer comfort through small actions. "You're not like the other human delegates," Nara said, her voice a mixture of metallic undertones and unexpected softness. Jay smiled. "Neither are you like typical Krell military representatives." Their conversation started cautiously, professional, calculating. But beneath the surface, something was changing. Walls built over decades of conflict began to show tiny cracks. She shared details about her last military mission. He listened without judgment. No human diplomat had ever truly listened before. Most wanted strategic information. Jay wanted to understand the person behind the military record. The space station hummed with technological precision. Alien and human technologies merged seamlessly in the conference rooms, a perfect metaphor for what was happening between Nara and Jay, two different systems finding unexpected connection. Other delegates watched their interaction with curiosity. A Krell military officer and a human diplomat weren't supposed to connect like this. They were supposed to remain distant, calculating, strategic. But something was different. Jay understood trauma, not just from reports or psychological training, but from personal experience. He had lost family during the early interstellar conflicts. He knew what it meant to carry pain, to rebuild, to find hope in unexpected places. Nara saw this, not through words, but through something deeper. A shared understanding that transcended species, military training, cultural differences. Their first real conversation happened accidentally. A technical malfunction in the communication systems forced them to work together. Solving a simple problem became something more, a moment of genuine connection. "We're more alike than different," Jay said quietly, fixing a communication relay. Nara wanted to argue. Her entire training told her to maintain distance. But something inside her was changing. The rigid military framework she had lived within was starting to crack. The diplomatic mission was supposed to be about resources, territories, strategic agreements. But something more important was happening. Two individuals from different worlds were discovering a shared humanity, or perhaps a shared understanding that went beyond humanity. As the station's artificial lighting shifted, marking the end of another diplomatic session, Nara realized something fundamental was changing, not just in the negotiations but within herself. Jay Park wasn't just a diplomat, he was a bridge, and she was slowly, carefully, considering crossing. The unexpected encounter was just the beginning. The research facility on Europa's icy surface looked like something between a scientific outpost and a diplomatic sanctuary. Nara and Jay found themselves assigned to a joint mission exploring potential technological exchanges between their civilizations. Initial days were structured, careful, each movement calculated, each conversation monitored. But something was changing beneath the professional facade. Jay started sharing stories about human resilience, not grand tales of military conquest, but simple narratives of survival. Stories about communities rebuilding after natural disasters, individuals overcoming personal tragedies, entire populations finding hope in impossible situations. Nara listened. Her military training demanded critical analysis, but her heart, a part of her she had long suppressed, began to hear something different. One evening during a standard data review, Jay brought traditional Korean tea, a simple gesture that carried profound cultural significance. The warm liquid, carefully prepared, became more than just a drink. It was an invitation to understanding. In my culture, Jay explained, sharing tea means sharing trust. Nara's metallic fingers wrapped around the delicate ceramic cup. Her species didn't have such rituals. Military protocols were their closest equivalent to emotional connection. The research facility was a marvel of technological integration. Human computer systems merged seamlessly with Krell data networks. Each technological bridge represented something deeper, a potential for understanding beyond physical infrastructure. Their work involved analyzing communication technologies, but gradually, they were communicating something far more complex than technical data. They were translating emotional languages. Nara discovered humans had remarkable emotional complexity. Where her military training taught strategic thinking, human experiences showed adaptability, compassion, unexpected strength. Jay noticed her transforming perspective, not through dramatic declarations but through subtle changes. The way she asked questions, how her posture softened during discussions, the moments when professional distance gave way to genuine curiosity. Europa's icy landscape became their silent witness. Massive ice formations reflected their conversations, complex, layered, holding secrets beneath smooth surfaces. During one research session, a minor technical problem required close collaboration. Their hands accidentally touched while adjusting a quantum communication relay, a simple moment that carried unexpected electricity. Nara realized something fundamental. Vulnerability wasn't weakness. Her entire military training had taught her emotional suppression. Humans demonstrated that acknowledging pain could be a form of strength. Jay shared stories about his grandmother's survival during global conflicts, how she rebuilt her life after losing everything, how hope wasn't about avoiding pain but moving through it. These weren't just stories, they were maps of human resilience. The research facility's computer systems began documenting something unusual, not just technical data but subtle shifts in interdelegational communication patterns. Algorithms detected increasing emotional synchronization between the Krell military representative and human diplomatic officer. Nara's rigid communication protocols started showing unexpected modifications, more nuanced responses, greater emotional range, something her military supervisors would have considered a critical system failure. But here, in this icy research facility, it felt like a breakthrough. Their cultural exchange went beyond formal diplomatic discussions. They shared meals, discussed personal histories, challenged each other's perspectives without judgment. Jay introduced her to human music, complex emotional expressions through sound. Nara discovered frequencies that carried more than just auditory information. They carried entire emotional landscapes. The Krell military had taught her that connections were tactical. Humans were showing her connections could be transformative. As Europa's distant sun cast long shadows across the research facility, Nara realized something profound was happening. She wasn't just learning about human culture, she was rediscovering her own capacity for connection. The cultural bridges they were building weren't just between species. They were bridges within themselves, and this was just the beginning of their unexpected journey. The abandoned research station drifted silently through an asteroid field, its systems barely functioning. Nara and Jay found themselves trapped, survival depending on their combined skills and unexpected trust. Massive hull breaches created dangerous atmospheric conditions. Emergency protocols flickered between human and Krell system designs. Outside asteroid fragments scattered like deadly diamonds against the dark space canvas. Their communication systems had failed 36 hours ago. Oxygen reserves dropped, slowly. Temperature controls became unreliable. Each moment required precise coordination. Jay's hands moved quickly, repairing damaged communication circuits. Nara monitored life support systems, Their movements synchronized without verbal communication, a dance of survival that transcended species boundaries. "We might not make it," Jay said quietly, not as a surrender, but as a simple acknowledgement. Nara understood the human concept of facing mortality. Her military training had always considered death a statistical probability. But this felt different, personal, complicated. A massive asteroid fragment struck the station's outer hull. Warning systems screamed digital alerts. Structural integrity dropped 17% in seconds. "We need to seal the breach," Nara calculated rapidly, her metallic fingers already moving across damaged control panels. Jay's engineering skills complemented her military precision. Where she saw problems, he saw potential solutions. Their differences became their greatest strength. Oxygen levels continued dropping. Temperature fluctuated dangerously. Each breath became a calculated risk. During a critical moment of system repair, Jay's hand touched Nara's. Not romantically, not strategically, but as a pure human gesture of connection. Solidarity in the face of impossible odds. Nara's biological systems responded unexpectedly. Her heart rate, typically machine-like and controlled, began showing complex emotional signatures. Fear, hope, something deeper than survival instinct. They shared limited food supplies, discussed potential escape scenarios, moments of technical problem-solving mixed with unexpected personal revelations. Jay spoke about losing his sister in an early space exploration mission. Nara shared memories of her lost military partner. Two different stories of loss finding unexpected resonance in this broken station. The station's artificial gravity began failing. Equipment floated around them. Their movements became synchronized, almost dance-like, adapting to changing environmental conditions. "Humans are more than just survivors," Jay said, sealing another hull breach. "We're creators of hope." Nara understood something profound in that moment. Hope wasn't a strategic calculation. It was an emotional choice. Their communication became a hybrid language, part technical protocol, part emotional understanding. Words mixed with technological signals, feelings translated through system diagnostics. Another asteroid strike. More damage. Oxygen levels critically low. Jay's human technology and Nara's Krell military systems began merging, not just physically, but conceptually. Two different technological philosophies finding unexpected harmony. They worked together without traditional communication. A touch, a glance, a shared understanding that went beyond verbal language. Hours passed. Their chances of survival decreased mathematically. But something else increased. Their connection. Their understanding of each other. Nara realized vulnerability wasn't weakness. It was the purest form of strength. Her military training had always considered emotional exposure a critical system failure. Now she saw it differently. Jay saw her transformation, not through dramatic statements but through subtle changes in her approach to their shared challenge. As station systems continued failing, they became more than just survivors. They became partners. Two beings from different worlds, finding connection in the most impossible circumstances. The abandoned research station drifted, damaged, broken, but not defeated. Just like them, survival wasn't just about technical skills. It was about understanding, trust, something neither of their original training had prepared them to discover. Their shared vulnerability became their greatest weapon against certain destruction. Klaku, medical recovery station on Mars, felt like a world between worlds. Nara and Jay had survived the impossible, and now healing became their new mission. Recovery wasn't just physical, something deeper was transforming. Doctors moved between human and Krell medical stations, monitoring their unusual recovery. Nara's metallic skin showed healing patterns unlike any medical record. Jay's human resilience matched her unexpected biological adaptations. Their survival had become more than a personal story. It was now a diplomatic event. Representatives from multiple star systems watched their recovery, seeing something revolutionary happening. We are more than our histories, Nara said one quiet morning, watching Mars's red landscape through the medical station's window. Jay understood. Their connection transcended species, military training, cultural boundaries. They had become something new, something undefined. Rehabilitation involved more than physical healing. They were learning each other's languages, not just verbal communication, but emotional frequencies. Human compassion merged with Krell's strategic understanding. Medical computers tracked something unusual. Their biological systems were adapting, creating unexpected hybrid responses. Where human emotional centers would typically respond one way, Nara's systems showed complex, nuanced reactions. Their touch became a language. Subtle, powerful. Communication, beyond words. Diplomatic teams watched carefully. This wasn't just a medical recovery. This was potential interspecies understanding at its most profound level. Nara discovered emotions she had suppressed her entire military career. Vulnerability, compassion, the ability to see beyond tactical calculations. Jay recognized her transformation, not through dramatic changes but through subtle shifts in perspective. The way she now listened, how she processed information, her growing capacity for emotional complexity. Mars's medical facility became a sanctuary of healing, not just physical recovery but emotional reconstruction. Their story spread across communication networks. A Krell military officer, a human diplomatic specialist, survivors, pioneers of understanding. Recovery involved sharing stories. Jay spoke about human resilience. Nara shared Krell survival strategies. Two different perspectives finding unexpected harmony. Medical specialists discovered something remarkable. Their biological systems were creating new communication pathways, hybrid responses that defied traditional scientific understanding. "We are creating something new," Jay said quietly one evening. Nara understood. They weren't just recovering, they were evolving. Diplomatic teams saw potential beyond medical recovery. This wasn't just about two individuals healing. This represented possibilities for entire civilizations to understand each other. Their connection became a bridge, not just between two species, but between different ways of experiencing existence. Mars's red landscape watched silently, witnessing a transformation more significant than geological changes. Nara's metallic skin showed healing patterns that medical computers struggled to categorize. Emotional responses mixed with biological adaptations. Something revolutionary was happening. Jay's human compassion merged with her strategic understanding. They were becoming more than their individual histories. Communication networks carried their story across star systems. A narrative of survival, of unexpected connection, of love rediscovered. Love, a concept Nara had previously considered irrelevant, became her most powerful discovery. Their touch communicated more than words. Their shared experiences created a language beyond traditional communication systems. Medical specialists documented everything. But some experiences existed beyond scientific measurement. As Mars's distant sun set, casting red and orange across, the medical station, Nara and Jay understood something profound. They were more than survivors. They were creators of a new possibility. Love wasn't about perfection. It was about understanding, about choosing connection in the face of impossible differences. Their story was just beginning, and the universe was listening.